So let's decode the big takeaways of the Prime Minister's outreach to the parties of Jammu and Kashmir. Number one, consensus on statehood after elections. That was the one big takeaway coming in from the meeting with the leaders of Jammu and Kashmir. Number two, all leaders to take part in the delimitation process to redraw the seats of Jammu and Kashmir. Number three, elections soon after delimitation, but those sticking points persist even when it comes to the Delimitation Commission, with the National Conference continuing to boycott the delimitation panel. Number four, strengthening democratic process. The centre laid out that it has strengthened grassroots democracy in Jammu and Kashmir. And number five, a panel on the release of political prisoners, which was a demand made by the Gupkar Alliance. And Home Minister Amit Shah said that a panel will be formed to facilitate the release of political prisoners. So these are the five big takeaways of that critical outreach to the Valley parties, to the parties of Jammu and Kashmir, which took place on Thursday. I'm joined by our reporters on the broadcast, Arunima, who tracks the Ministry of Home Affairs, Mufti Isla reporting from Srinagar, and Tejinder Singh Sodhi reporting from Jammu. Arunima, I'll come to you first. So are we set for another series of meetings in the coming few weeks? Because as we saw in those reactions, the political sticking points, they persist when it comes to delimitation, when it comes to special status, when it comes to the basic land rights of the people of Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes, you do require a structured formula to take the successes of the meeting from yesterday forward. I think the first set of meeting you will see is that of the Delimitation Commission itself. The National Conference MPs, who are associate members of the Delimitation Commission, boycotted the last round of meetings. Even now, even though the central government or functionaries say that there is consensus and there is agreement that we should push for Delimitation Commission report to come out at the earliest, so that the Election Commission can then take a call on when to hold elections. Omar Abdullah has said that he raised this issue in the meeting itself, but he also added a caveat that we will take a call, Farooq Saab will take a call at the end of it. So there is a euphoria at the central government level. That there has been a consensus building exercise as far as delimitation is concerned, and we will have to take that forward. So that's the first set of meeting to be expected. The second, because the review committee under the stewardship of LG Manoj Sinha is being set up to review those who have been detained under the Public Safety Act. So that committee's formation, that committee's meeting could happen next. Third and most importantly, you met the Prime Minister, has heard all the Valley parties, but everybody agrees that this is just a first step. The amount of mistrust that has developed between New Delhi and Srinagar in the last 22 months, you need more of such meetings. So don't be surprised if at the Prime Minister level, at the Home Minister level, you see more such engagement with the Valley-based parties specifically.
Right. So as Arunima is pointing out, that mistrust between Srinagar and Delhi continues to persist, and it's a huge roadblock even on that road to statehood. Let's get a view from Srinagar. I'm joined by Mufti Isla on the broadcast. Mufti, what is the latest that you're getting from the PDP and the National Conference camps?
I think a lot of sticking points are there which need to be ironed out, and Arunima is right in suggesting that further meetings are needed to strengthen and bolster this dialogue process, which has started after 22 months, after a huge freeze and after humiliation and calling all other names of the Kashmiri leaders. So clearly there are a few sticking points. One is on the delimitation. Ghulam Nabi Azad, in an interview with our colleague Payal Mahta, has clearly stated that first they would want statehood to come, and then perhaps there should be elections, and delimitation can be subsequently taken up. Now from the centre point of view, they want the delimitation first, and then going to the polls, and then they're going to decide about the statehood. So these are few sticking points. The Kashmir Valley parties have said that nevertheless, whatever happened yesterday, they were able to air grievances at that meeting because it was a high table. They got an opportunity after so many months, and clearly they have been able to put across their point, which is that Jammu and Kashmir is for special status, and there needs to be special guarantees on job and land. So clearly you also being from Jammu, Tejinder, our other colleague also being from Jammu, this is not a sentiment which is reflective of the ground in Kashmir. People in Jammu have again talked about that there should be some kind of reservation on these two issues, land and job mainly, because Jammu and Kashmir as such has limited resources. There is not a huge private sector which absorbs youths. Clearly, these were the points which were reflected in that meeting. Good thing about this was that centre heard. The Prime Minister, the Home Minister were there in that meeting. They heard them and they offered a matured response, clearly not subverting the talks, but in fact pledging that they're going to further talk. So at this juncture, I can tell you the talks went off very well, and the leadership will again try to come and put forth their demands. Needs to be seen how the process goes on. But one good thing was, as I said, that talks have begun, and these talks are being watched keenly, not only here in Srinagar, Delhi or Jammu, but also at the international fora.
Right, so that's the view from Srinagar, but one region which regularly gets ignored when it comes to talking about Jammu and Kashmir is the Jammu region, is the Dogra heartland. So let's get a view from Jammu. I'm joined by Tejinder Singh Sodhi. Tejinder, what is the pulse from Jammu? Do the Jammu outfits feel that they got adequate representation in that meeting on Thursday? Because as Mufti is pointing out, there are multiple concerns in the post-abrogation era from the Jammu region as well.
Yes, Ayushman, as Mufti rightly pointed out that the people across Jammu region, they also want certain securities from the government as far as jobs are related, land rights are related. I beg your pardon. So the people across Jammu, they have this reservation. They want that they should get certain guarantees from the government, from the central government, as well as the government of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, that the jobs in Jammu and Kashmir would be reserved for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. The land rights would be given to them. The people from outside the country, they won't be able to come and purchase land. So this is something which the people of Jammu region too have been demanding, and this is their demand ever since the abrogation of Article 370 is concerned. Having said so, the people in Jammu region are not in favor of the return of Article 370. We know that in Jammu region there are many such communities, especially the people from the West Pakistan, who were living in Jammu for the past 70 years, but they did not have the right to vote for their local municipal elections. They could elect a member parliament, but they could not elect a local municipal councillor. So ever since the abrogation of Article 370 has taken place, these people got their basic rights, they got their citizenship, and they don't want those rights to be taken away if there is a talk about bringing back Article 370. So yes, people want certain reservations, but they don't want the return of Article 370. Having said so, yesterday we saw several protests across Jammu region. Even people called it a black day for Jammu. Even on social media networking sites such as Twitter, Black Day for Jammu was trending. This was because the people across Jammu region said that they did not get enough representation on the high table as Kashmir Valley got. You see, the majority of the leaders who went for talks with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday were from the Kashmir Valley. Only Dr. Jitendra Singh, who is a union minister, he was there in the capacity of the union minister in the PMO. Then there were three leaders from the BJP, and only Professor Bhim Singh, who represents Jammu Kashmir National Panthers Party, he was there. There has been a grudge among the people, and especially small political parties in Jammu, that their voice was not heard. They said that those BJP leaders who were there, they had to toe the party line. They could not have spoken
to what the Home Minister or the Prime Minister said, whereas in Kashmir, those Kashmiri leaders, they put forth the point of view about the Kashmiri people, but that was not the case for those who were representing Jammu region. So clearly, the people here say that they are being discriminated for the past 70 years, and this practice has not ended. Yes, there were high hopes. People in Jammu region, the main problem with the people in Jammu region is that they don't have enough jobs. There are no job opportunities, so they want certain guarantees from the government that the youth would be absorbed in various government sector jobs. Yes, Ayushman.
Right. Thank you, Tejinder, for getting us the view from Jammu. Also, Mufti for joining us from Srinagar, as well as Arunima for getting us the latest from the center. So.